Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda, and I have one article for you in this special report this morning. This is off of OregonLive.com, and it says prosecutors want California man to remove blog posts on FBI informants in refuge occupation case. And this is how this one reads. As second trial looms in the takeover of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, federal prosecutors are perturbed that a California man associated with a network of militia groups obtained FBI reports on its confidential sources and has written about them in an online blog. Prosecutors on Friday asked a judge to order Gary Hunt to immediately remove all material about the confidential sources from his website and prevent him from continuing to share the sensitive information. The presence of 9 informants on the Eastern Oregon refuge during the 41-day occupation last winter, as well as 6 other informants who worked on the case for the FBI, was revealed during testimony during the first trial of occupation leaders. Hunt, according to prosecutors, apparently got a hold of the FBI reports on the informants that prosecutors gave to defense attorneys as part of their sharing of discovery evidence before the trial. The court ordered the reports not to be shared with others. Occupation leader Ammon Bundy and 6 others were acquitted of conspiracy and other charges after a 5-week trial that ended October the 27th. Public dissemination of the material produced under the court's protective order could threaten ongoing investigations in the safety of government confidential human sources, informants, and others, wrote Assistant U.S. Attorney Pamela Holsinger. Hunt said that the FBI agent contacted him Thursday, handing him a cease and desist order signed by Holsinger, chief of the criminal division of the Oregon U.S. Attorney's Office. FBI Special Agent Matthew Catalano reached Hunt by phone and requested a meeting. They met at a restaurant near Hunt's home after the agent assured Hunt he didn't have a warrant for his arrest, according to a court filing. Hunt said the agent asked where he got the documents, wanted him to remove his blog posts, and hand over the reports he had. Hunt, who wasn't charged in the occupation, said the government doesn't have the authority to control his work because the court's protective order doesn't apply to him. The order restricted defendants in the case and their attorneys or defense staff from disseminating the material. But prosecutors contend Hunt is illegally in possession of protected sensitive discovery materials in this case and not authorized to distribute them according to their motion. Hunt did not comply with the cease and desist order within 24 hours, so prosecutors on Friday filed a request for the court to order his compliance. I don't think it has merits, Hunt said. Hunt, age 70, was a member of the advisory board for Operation Mutual Defense, a network of militias and supporters founded by Ryan Payne, one of the refuge occupant organizers. The board was involved in early talks on how to help Harney County ranchers Dwight Hammond Jr. and his son Stephen Hammond, who were scheduled to return to federal prison on January 4th, 2016, for setting a fire on public land. Bundy frequently cited protests over the Hammonds' treatment by the federal government as one of the reasons for seizing the refuge on January 2nd. The advisory board ultimately voted not to support any action in Burns without the Hammond family's invitation, but Hunt ended up visiting the refuge during the takeover. He went to Burns on January the 24th, checked into the Silver Spur Motel, and drove out to the refuge. On the evening of January the 26th, after state police shot and killed occupation spokesman Robert Lavoy Finicum at Roadblock, Hunt put out a call for supporters to go to the refuge, but retracted it by the next day, he said. Hunt, who lives in Northern California, has written stories under the heading Burns Chronicles on his Outpost of Freedom website. Hunt quotes from FBI reports on the agency's 15 informants during the occupation. The 130 reports, spanning 246 pages, were subject to protective order, and each page contains the printed words "dissemination limited by court order." FBI agent Ronnie Walker wrote in an affidavit attached to the prosecutor's court filing. The names of the confidential sources in the FBI report shared with defense lawyers were redacted. On one blog post, Hunt surmised that a fellow member of the Operation Mutual Defense's advisory board was an informant who provided the FBI details from the board meetings and access to the board's electronic folders containing various documents, Walker wrote in the affidavit. Hunt said he's written about the informants because he believes that every defendant has the right to meet his accusers to prepare their defense. He expects his blog post might help the second round of defendants charged in the refuge takeover who are set to go to trial February the 14th. If government can get into my records, email, and Dropbox accounts, why can't we look at their records, he said. Hunt has not posted on his blog the FBI records, but has quoted excerpts from them. In another blog post called Informants, What to Do About Them, Hunt wrote, "The matter of informants and the government's efforts to protect the names of those who have snuck into our midst is a denial of justice and, to some degree, the Sixth Amendment right to be confronted with the witnesses against them." Walker argued in the affidavit that the identification of informants could put them at risk, noting that some defendants and other people associated with refuge occupation have advocated for violence against federal employees, law enforcement, and/or informants. Walker cited comments from an unidentified person caught on a video found on defendant Jason Patrick's cell phone. They came during a group meeting at the refuge after Ammon Bundy's arrest. The person said the group, let's regroup, get in, go find out who works for the feds and start executing them. Execute them, their families, and everyone. Make it a statement. If you work for those crooked expletives, you are going to die. Unquote. U.S. District Judge Anna Brown, who presided over the initial Bundy trial, is also handling the second trial in February. She's expected to rule on the prosecutor's motion. Hunt said Friday he has not obtained a lawyer. One positive development that may come out of this, Hunt said, is that his personal standoff with the FBI may put to rest some of the speculation that Hunt was an informant for the feds. So there is that article. If you like what we're doing here, give it the thumbs up. Share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. Be sure and subscribe. Click that little box next to the that little bell next to the subscribe button, and check that box so that you get email messages every time I put up a show, and that way you'll stay informed on the news. We'll see you later. Have a great day.